Hello everyone, I hope you are doing very well. Welcome to my Paris vlog, part of a friend's presentation with Fabrice. Today, I am taking you with me to take a little walk around the French capital during lockdown. Throughout this walk, we will explore several emblematic districts of Paris, several monuments for which I will try to give you some historical details. I will show you some of the places I love the most in my city during springtime. So whether you visited Paris before or not, I hope you will enjoy this little getaway. Are you ready? Let's go! Je parlais d'amour et toi, tu parlais de ton pays. Non, je n'oublierai pas la douceur de ton corps. Let's begin this walk with popular green spaces in Paris, les jardins. The first one is Jardin des Tuileries, or the Tuileries Garden. It's a public garden located between the Louvre and Place de la Concorde in the first arrondissement of Paris, at the center of the capital. It was created by Catherine de Médicis in 1564, and it was eventually opened to the public in 1667. And it became a public park after the French Revolution. At the end of the 19th century and the very beginning of the 20th century, the Tuileries Garden was filled with entertainment for the public. Acrobats, puppet theaters, lemonade stands, small boat on the lakes, donkey ride, stands selling toys, etc. Today, it is a very popular place where Parisians like to celebrate, meet, stroll, paint, go jogging, relax, whatever. It's very, very popular. Next is Parc Monceau. This park is located on the very bougie 8th arrondissement of Paris. It's very unusual in France due to its English style, its informal layout, curved walkways, and randomly placed statues that is very different from the more traditional French-style garden. So it includes a collection of scaled-down architectural features, just like an Egyptian pyramid, a Chinese fort, and Corinthian pillars. This park is very popular with local residents, and I'll have nothing more to do with. And it's also an active free Wi-Fi area for computer users looking for internet access. I thought it might help. We call this last garden a Jardin des Plantes, with a capital letter in garden, unlike the others. It literally means garden of plants, but in reality, it is a little more than that. Plants garden in France are just not simple gardens or parks managed by a municipality. they also function as a research institution with stewards or director and with specific specification to be completed, which distinguish them from public green spaces intended mainly for pleasure. The Jardin des Plantes de Paris is the best known in France, and it was created during the reign of Louis XVIII. At the beginning, it was an institution for scientific research from its foundation in 1635. Botany, chemistry, astronomy, and natural history were taught there, and finally, before the end of the 17th century, anatomy. Today, the Paris Plant Garden contains within it a very large set of laboratories, greenhouses, a menagerie, a zoo, various botanical beds, etc. It is a garden very popular with families, especially during springtime because young and old can learn about botany and so many other things. Also, it is close to other museums such as the Mineralogy Museum. Now, I would like to show you some architectural building. This is chapter 2. Let's start this chapter with the Mosque of Paris. The Great Mosque of Paris is located in the Jardin des Plantes district that we just saw in the 5th arrondissement. It was created in 1926 by Sir Kadour Ben Rabrit, an Algerian religious leader, translator, and interpreter who worked for the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It is the oldest mosque in the metropolitan France. The decision to build this mosque took shape in December 1916 when France had to count so many Muslim soldiers who died in the Battle of Verdun, a terrible yet victorious battle known as the Battle of the Destiny of France. It is therefore historically a building in recognition of Muslim soldiers who died for France. During the German occupation of Paris during the Second World War, the Great Mosque of Paris, which notably has underground passages, served as a refuge for resistance fighters, family, and Jewish children. It is made up of several outbuildings, including a madrasa, which is a Quranic school, a library, a conference room, a restaurant, a tea room, a hammam, and shops. Visitors can walk around the mosque gardens all year round outside of prayer times. But what many people, even Parisians themselves, do not know is that before the construction of this mosque, the first Parisian mosque was in a cemetery. But not your average cemetery, the most visited necropolis in the world, the Père Lachaise, with more than 3.5 million visitors annually. Let's take a look. The Père Lachaise is located in the 20th arrondissement and it was the first garden cemetery in Paris. It opened in 1804 and it takes its name from the confessor to Louis XIV, Père François de Lachaise. At the very beginning, it was not a very popular place because Roman Catholics refused to have their graves in a place that has not been blessed by the church. Consequently, under Napoleon's reign, the administrators devised a marketing strategy to improve the cemetery stature. They organized the transfer of the remains of Jean de La Fontaine and Molière to the new resting place. It was a huge success because this strategy achieved its desired effect. People began clamoring to be buried among the famous citizens. Presently, there are more than 1 million bodies buried there and many more in the columbarium. However, the rules to be buried in the Paris cemetery are rather strict. People may be buried in one of these cemeteries if they die in the French capital city or if they lived there. Being buried in Père Lachaise is even more difficult nowadays as there is a waiting list. Very few plots are available. Though, it is a popular place for Parisians to take a stroll in the spring because it contrasts with the concrete and the constant noise of the rest of the city. Some come there to meditate, for an introspective walk, or even for a romantic date. And what is truly amazing here is the variety, the flora and fauna of the cemetery. There are also many symbols on each of the tombs, like lions, which represent eternity because they are said to sleep with their eyes opened. Here are some famous people who are buried there. Finally, to end this walk, I would like to take you to the heart of Paris. This is chapter 3, and this is one of my favorite spots, regardless of the season, the Quartier Latin and the Ile de la Cité. It is located on the left bank of the Seine, around the Sorbonne. It's known for its student life, lively atmosphere, bistro, cafe, restaurant, libraries. The Quartier Latin is the home to a number of higher education establishments, such as La Sorbonne or even Panthéon-Assas, which is a law school. In the 60s, this district was one of the nerve centers of various protest movements in France. Oh, and I forgot to say it, but the area gets its name from the Latin language, which was widely spoken in and around the university during the Middle Ages. Next to it is Ile de la Cité, the geographical heart of Paris. All road distances in France are calculated from the 0-kilometer point located in the Place du Parvis de Notre-Dame, which is the square facing Notre Dame's pair of western towers. A lot of medieval building and vestiges remain, like, of course, Notre Dame Cathedral, built from 1163. But also La Conciergerie, which was an old prison. And just so you know, hundreds of prisoners during the French Revolution were taken from La Conciergerie to be executed by guillotine at a number of locations around Paris. The old medieval prison is now a courthouse nowadays. It houses both the Court of Appeal of Paris. It is the busiest appellate court in France and France's highest court for ordinary cases, the Cour de Cassation. Notre-Dame de Paris, Our Lady of Paris, roof unfortunately caught fire on April 2019. and it houses very important relics, including a piece of the original cross and the crown of thorns supposedly worn by Jesus as he was crucified. So this is the end of this short walk. Even if all the shop, museum, galleries were closed due to the lockdown, I hope you enjoy this moment. There is so many ways to explore a city. And I hope you will have the chance to travel as much as you want to after these very tough times. Thank you so much for watching. We will now move on to the presentation of Friend with Fabrice, and then maybe, if we have time, have a little discussion about this. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Rappelle-moi sur quel pied je danse.